Strider. Making contact at point 003.
Welcome to Live Action Star Wars. I'm Ralph.
I'm James.
And today we are discussing The Mandalorian Chapter 20, The Foundling.
The Foundling. Yeah, a title that we found out like early because Carl Weathers just tweeted it out.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. He tweeted it out.
My job easier.
A few days ago, he just tweeted it out.
But we're not doing it alone. Joining us from the broadcast on the Jay and Jack Network is Colleen Glatfelter. Colleen.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hello. I'm good.
How excited are you about The Foundling?
You know, I am so excited because it was like 24 minutes, so I was finished by 7 a.m. I understood everything that was going on. I was real nervous that we were going to get an episode like last week. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of didn't pay a lot of attention to the Book of Boba Fett, so I was like, oh boy.
It's just going to be an entire episode just set somewhere completely different with new characters and everything. Yeah.
Well, because we do the Survivor live stream at the same time that you guys do your Screen Geeks Mandalorian talk at night. Yeah. So I only ever jump in at the very, very end when we finish early. And I watched the whole thing yesterday. I was like, oh my God, I have to prep because if they're going to go to world building and I'm not going to know the world.
Right. Well, I got to say, like, I could have, like, up until a certain point in this episode, I was like, oh, God, here we go again. Pointless Mando stuff that I don't care. Because I'm not the biggest fan of, like, Mandalorian culture.
Okay, I'm not going to lie, Ralph. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but when I was watching, all I could think about was, because your opinions are the last thing I listened to about it, was I was like watching and I'm like, gosh darn it, Ralph is right. This really is, too cultish. It's getting...
Oh, it's such a cult. It's horrible. I'm not a fan of that cult at all.
But then something happened about, I don't know, a third of the way through, and it made me absolutely love this episode. And
which was 7 minutes in because
right.
Yeah, it changed everything. So for the last 2 years or however long it's been since Mandalorian season 2, we've been wondering who saves Grogu from Order 66.
Yep.
Who's
that? Loads of speculation.
Saving a Grogu. Sorry.
People have been guessing. People have been sort of speculating, and it's been everyone. But there's been one name that I don't think anyone's thrown around that I
don't think anyone's. So the doors open and it's Ahmed Best, and I'm like, holy shit, it's Keller and Beck.
Yep.
And Steve's like, oh my God. And we're both like, what? Okay, cool. And then as the episode progresses, I'm like, well, he's probably just playing a different character. But then they say his name.
The Jedi in the temple said Kelleran. Like I before we even saw him, I'd like rewound it, put the subtitles on. I was like, right, what's that name? Because for my first watch, I'm always like just scribbling down names for our search terms that we add to this and stuff. So I was like, what did they say? And then I heard Kelleran, and I was like, wait, I recognize that. Why do I recognize that? Doors open, and there's Ahmed Best
from Temple Challenge.
Jedi Temple Challenge, which was episode 6.
Episode 6. Colleen, have you watched Jedi Temple Challenge with the boys?
I don't know, Jay. Have I watched Jedi Temple Challenge with the boys?
So it's a game show. It's a game show on YouTube. Super low budget. Game show for kids, where they can do different Jedi trials.
Legends of the Hidden Temple, Guts sort of style, like
it's like a Nickelodeon 1990s kids show that came out during the pandemic.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't think we've watched it, but I think now we have to watch it.
Absolutely.
Now I'm required to watch it.
Is it canon?
It must be canon now, right?
The character at least is. I hope his droid's still alive.
Every kid that's been on that show, are they now canon? Is Bryce canon?
How do you remember that name?
Is Brittany? it was, I don't even think it was a name, but that's what all the kids were. They were like the most non-Star Wars names. It was like Jedi Padawan Brittany, you know.
Yeah.
So
we said it at the time when we were watching that, how it was lovely for Ahmed Best and everything, like to that sort of the redemption arc of him and for everything that he'd gone through as a performer who was hated at the time for so long, and he's got so much shit for it. But then to come around and to now get to play a Jedi Master and to now get to be in the highest profile Star Wars thing that there is as that same character, it's awesome.
Yeah,
and like not even just a cameo, he had like a full
part
role. Yeah, great.
It was funny because as I'm watching, I'm like, I know that guy. He looks so familiar. He looks so familiar. So I Googled, I just Googled or went, typed in the Mandalorian on Google because I knew that the reviews would be like the first thing to pop up. Like I paused it and like, then I was like, oh, it's Jar Jar.
Yep. It's great. It's so good. And it's like, I think there's something about in Jedi Temple Challenge, he's referred to as the bladed hand or something, like he's something like that. And like, there's always this rumor about him being amazing with a lightsaber and stuff like that. One of the challenges that the kids have to do is putting together a lightsaber and stuff. And
really
so in
cool.
this, to see him like picking up 2 blades and then just going to town on those clones was great.
I mean, the show Jedi Temple Challenge is really cheap. Like you could tell it was really done on the cheap. Like things look like they're made of foam, just painted over, and like everything's like sponge looking. Like it's a really low budget show. So to see him brought into the main like Star Wars thing that's happening right now is pretty amazing. And the fact, I mean, his robes look so awesome because if you watch the show, his lightsaber is constructed from pieces that you can get at Galaxy's Edge.
All of that. All of the lightsabers in the show are all just the Galaxy's Edge lightsabers, essentially, aren't they?
Yeah, it's done very, very inexpensively. I think you can see his lightsaber here. Yeah.
There you go.
I think you could probably.
That's excellent product placement. Excellent placement of the lightsaber.
But it was full of stuff like that. Like all the prizes were stuff you can get at Galaxy's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as soon as they said his name, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And he's got a motorcycle with a sidecar. Like
it's like Indy and Henry Jones.
Yeah. So, okay, this is during Order 66.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it looks like he gets into the Queen Amidala's ship from episode 2.
I mean, it's one of the Naboo cruises. Like we see the Naboo troopers and everything, but like, it does look like the one that
to him?
The one that they take to Tatooine. Well, it was still under sort of Naboo control, so maybe it's like a senatorial ship, and she was just using a different one in 3.
Maybe that's sort of his sector, but that would have been Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, but Obi-Wan was doing his thing, I guess.
Yeah,
it's just, I thought he was. It ties him to Queen Amidala.
Yeah, and Naboo, and then through that Bail Organa, like,
and Jar Jar.
And Jar Jar.
Senator Binks. Oh my gosh.
That's how he knew it. That's how he knows, because he's probably friends with Senator Binks. Representative Binks. Keller and Beck and Representative Binks. They hang out.
Oh my God.
They hit Dex's at the weekend.
Doesn't Jar Jar get a story arc at the end of, is it Clone Wars?
There is some.
There's a few in
Rebels.
Clone Wars, yeah. I don't think he's not in Rebels.
He shows up in Rebels.
So it's Clone Wars, right? Where they have the, because then they do the end seasons. They did like the episodes that were kind of like put together, like the Bad Batch ones, and there was a Jar Jar set, wasn't there?
I don't think there is in season 6, but in 7, sorry, but I think in season 6, which was the season that sort of came out on Netflix, I think, like just after the Disney sale. There was definitely one in there. I think that's like where we see that Jar Jar has a girlfriend or something.
Yes. Okay. I realize that this has nothing to do with the actual episode.
Hey, we're always down to talk to Jar Jar.
But yeah, that's the thing.
If we're talking about Jar Jar and not a cult, then we're in.
He's my best friend.
He is. He's right.
I'm wearing my...
Are you wearing Jar Jar earrings? Oh,
no,
lightsaber.
I'm wearing Mace Windu lightsaber earrings. Actually, I just picked purple because it's my favorite color.
I almost thought it was Mace Windu showing up, but that wouldn't have made sense.
He's off getting his hand chopped off and thrown out of a window, like
Or fake,
concurrent.
or fake.
I don't know.
Windu.
Maybe he already has been. Yeah, he already has been at that point.
Yeah.
By the time they're hitting the temple, like he's already sort of in the bowels of Coruscant, not coming back to life. He's done.
Please.
Yeah.
Please be done.
But
this is amazing because I want more. And I don't know how he ages, because I don't know when Jedi Temple Challenge took place.
Whenever you want. That's the
But
beauty of that show.
well, I
It's
want
like,
it to be
Canon
like,
now, so you just have to look it up.
but I want it to be during First Order times, so that he just doesn't age. He's always around. Like I want him to be like the new Ahsoka. He just kind of is there. But oh my gosh, I want him and Jar Jar to hang out.
I think
Right?
I think we could
That
get
would
a
be
story.
amazing.
I think we could get that story.
Yeah. I
Because
think
where does he go after this?
the actor might be free.
I'm sure that he'd come back and do it. He seems very up
just-
for anything that, like anything that would keep him in the Star Wars thing.
This is what I want. This is what I want. For some Star Wars anthology series, for Visions, for whatever you need to do, Jedi Tales. At this moment, Order 66, shit's going crazy. Everyone's running. Everyone's like insane. Like shit's going down.
Okay.
Kelleran in the Naboo cruiser
Mm-hmm.
goes to the Senate to find out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Finds Jar Jar. They take off. So now you have these scenes with Kelleran Beck and Jar Jar talking about the mistake, how he feels like garbage, and how everyone's coming down on this for this happening, and nobody likes Jar Jar. And then you have Kelleran Beck teaching him like it's okay, everything will be okay in the end, and we
Going through the journey that Ahmed Best went through.
Yes, but it's those two characters in a ship.
So it's
heading to
Ahmed Best
Naboo.
as Kelleran talking to Ahmed Best as Jar Jar. It's
Yes.
very meta. All of the Star
Yes.
Wars fuckboys really get mad, excuse my French.
Yeah.
And the internet blows up and people say they're never watching it again. And
we get rid of that entire portion of horrible fans, and then we can all celebrate the love, and it'd be great.
But they're on their way to Naboo, where they end up finding that Padme is gone.
They go to Padme's funeral. Like
Yeah.
they're very sad. They go to Padme's funeral, and then they go, "Hang on, that looks like Ahsoka over there." And then they're in Ahsoka.
Are we getting Ahsoka? When is that coming out?
Yeah, that's
This
in
is
a
the
couple of
next
months.
show.
It's the next show.
Oh.
It's like May.
So I'm
June time, I
assuming
think.
what episode was this? This is fourth
Four.
Mandalorian episode.
Yeah, this is the
Four.
midway
So this
point
is a
of the season.
halfway.
Because we started with chapter 16 and this was chapter 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're halfway
need to make
through.
it
So
27.
once this is done, I would say probably the morning before or the morning of the finale of Mandalorian, we'll get an Ahsoka trailer.
That
It
makes
should be
sense.
pretty soon.
I think they're going to show it at Celebration, not make it public, and then they'll show it at the end of the season.
Mhm.
That makes the most sense to me. The Ahsoka panel is on the Friday. It's on my birthday, actually. Which I'm not going to be there for, but I'm going to be there on the Sunday, Monday.
When is your birthday?
April 7th. Good Friday.
Okay.
I'm
Um,
gonna say hi to the
Great
chat
Friday.
because
Yeah,
there's a lot
Very
of folks
happy
that are here
chat.
just for Colleen.
For me? Really?
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucha
Oh.
Johnny's here. Stevie's here.
Hey, Stevie.
We so excited to see Kelleran back. We love Jedi Temple Challenge. It's free
It was-
on
it
YouTube.
was- It was one of our first episodes. It was the 6th episode.
Okay,
It
I gotta
was-
write this down. I gotta write this down.
Yeah.
Here, that's Jedi
There you
Temple Challenge.
Jedi Temple.
And then watch our
Challenge.
episode because
If I remember rightly, we
gushed
were
about
asked
it.
we were asked to watch this by a friend of the show, Ed. And
No, I was a pretty big fan of it. Ed made us watch the dancing stuff.
I know he made us watch the dancing stuff, but maybe he just watched this afterwards and he had thoughts as well. But we talked about it a lot of the time. We love that show. Yeah, Tristan's here on time
Tristan's
this
here.
week.
Scott D.
Scott
Jay was
Scott
here.
D, let's just go back to Scott D's comment here because I was curious what he said. Does he want to give this show the clap? Like It's a bit weird there, Scott. Like, nice Mando clap. I'm guessing he means their like their pauldron clap thing that they do. All right, that makes more sense.
So Jay already left because he didn't want to be spoiled. So we don't know if you watched Jedi Temple Challenge or not.
I don't think we have. They may have watched it at some point when I wasn't around. Hey, Charlie.
Yeah.
I don't. It does not ring any bells to me. But I'm not a sit
think the
around and
kids-
watch TV kind of person unless I have a reason to sit and watch something. Which
I
is
have a
why
feeling-
half the time I'm watching Mandalorian. I like watching it. Generally, Jay and I will sit down at night and like watch something, but now we're so busy all the time. That's why sometimes I don't sit down and watch Mandalorian. I really screw myself over here until like 4:00 in the afternoon. Then I got to go get the kids, and then we have dinner, and then we have gymnastics, and I'm working on the meme post from gymnastics, and I'm like every week I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Why don't you just watch it at 10:00 in the morning?
Get up at 5:30. That's what I do.
Sorry.
But if the thing that's going to suck is if your kids watch Jedi Temple Challenge and are excited about it and want to be on the show. They only did one season, and I don't know if it's ever coming back. Who knows? Maybe this changes things.
Maybe it does.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, they got to get the show on. I feel like if they put the show on Disney Plus, it'd be more people to.
It's so strange that it's not there.
What is it on now?
It's on YouTube.
It was
It's
just
on Star Wars
I
Kids.
that down.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be
Star
searching
Wars.
around YouTube. Okay.
Star Wars Kids. It's
And,
on the
yeah,
Star
I
Wars
think-
Kids channel.
Put it up on Disney Plus. Just drop the whole lot, and then it can't be that expensive to make. Like, you're gonna have kids that are willing to do it for nothing. You're gonna have like Ahmed Best
It
is
couldn't
always
cost
willing.
them.
Like,
Right. It couldn't have cost them anything. I want a season 2, better sets, and stuff like that. Okay, let's do this.
show them on put the new season in the Galactic Star Cruiser. There you go. They're traveling around all over the place.
Right. Because the ship looked like it.
Yeah.
It was like a similar class ship.
I think it was. Yeah.
Nick is here. Jeremy Kelly's here. All right. Derpy's always coming in. Kayla's here.
Hello.
And I think that's everybody.
I think that's it.
Hello,
Yeah.
everybody.
So we were talking about how it would be nice if Kelleran Beck went and found Jar Jar, and that was his connection to Naboo. But Tristan does mention here that, the Emperor is also from Naboo, and it probably has control over that senatorial shuttle if that's what it is. So, it leads into the whole.
No.
It
Good
doesn't.
vibes
I'm
only.
sure that
I only
I'm sure
want
that
good
that's
vibes.
just Tristan having a bit of fun with it, but it's just like, yeah, there is also that.
But I really want that. I really want that Keller and Beck Jar Jar story to happen.
That'd be great.
Okay, let's talk about
Right.
the story that did happen.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Little
That's all I
tiny
cared
baby.
the episode opens like Wayne just opened the door in Stan Makita's Donuts to people being trained like they're in a James Bond movie. Like literally that scene from Wayne's World, it was the only thing that I had going through my head as we're
I
sort of
saw your
zooming.
tweet.
Yeah, we're zooming in on Space Utah, and it's just like there's just people shooting stuff in a lake. And I was like, oh, is the big crocodile thing back? Are they attacking it again? It's like, no, they're just. No wonder that thing attacks them. They're just shooting up his house.
Carl Weathers did this episode, and I was sort of getting frustrated with that training montage because they were just like shooting water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't you need those? You're living in a cave. Don't you need those missiles? Don't you think you'll need
like whistling
blaster
birds are
bolts?
expensive? We learned that,
Yeah.
Keep okay, use the training darts. Stuff like that's fine, but
Yeah.
all of that feels like it's just a big waste of money.
Right. And so I was like, I was already ready to be like, this episode, these guys, I really don't.
It's a very
it's-
cult heavy episode.
And then when it starts off with the kid getting captured by the dragon, which looked like there was
Pterodactyl.
one shot.
What was it?
Star Wars monster. Is there a name for it?
They said at some point Shriek-hawk, like the Shriek-hawk hunting party, but I don't know if
Shriek-hawk.
that was the name of the thing or just like their wanky code name for their hunting party.
Shriek-hawks sound like something John and Jay would bring up on their Toy Geek show. Where I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck Shriek-hawks are, but these guys seem to love it.
G.I. Joe vehicle of some sort.
Right.
Yeah.
The Shriek-hawk is going up on a HasLab.
You know, 3 weeks ago, I would have had no idea what any of those words meant together in a sentence, and I'm sorry that I do now.
I still don't.
Colleen is now running the Geek Dad Life website.
Sort of. Always looking for new content. Ralph wrote a thing for us.
Yeah, I saw a trap jaw. I saw a trap jaw at a show, and I wrote about how I saw it, and it looked
involve pre-orders of some sort.
But as soon as the Shriek-hawk grabbed the kid, and then it said Mandalorian chapter 20, the Foundling, I was like, oh man, this is just gonna be going to rescue this kid. Like, this is the Mudhorn all over again. Like, it's like I want substance, I want story. And we get that, but
it definitely sort of fits into that Mandalorian like mission of the week mold that we haven't had really this season too much. So if we get one, it's fine. But yeah,
Carl Weathers was setting me up for like, oh boy, here you go. Here we go, another one of these things. Let's go fight a monster for a whole episode. and then I got like my favorite thing in the series since Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
So
last week
I love the episode.
Last week in a whole 4 episodes.
Yeah, last week you were saying you had like it was your favorite episode of The Mandalorian so far, but also included your least favorite thing in the entire Disney era. So it's the give and take that this show. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure about Joseph Shirley's music on this show. I can definitely tell there's a difference between his music and Ludwig Göransson's.
Yeah, it's not hitting the same way, is it?
It doesn't have the punch, and I feel like the Order 66 stuff was kind of a little bit bland. And I mean, there's not a lot to work with. You're not dealing with a whole lot of emotion, but I feel, oh my god, when it cut back to Grogu in the Armorer's cave after the flashback, I was so mad. I was like, no, please don't pull me back into the Mandalorian side of things, because I'm really enjoying this Order 66 stuff, which is crazy because like I'm not the biggest prequel guy, but I've come to appreciate it. But it feels like, God, this sounds so negative. I'd much rather be in George Lucas's Star Wars than Jon Favreau's Star Wars. And it sounds mean, but I mean, I'm sure Jon Favreau would say that he loves George Lucas more than
he'd probably say the same thing.
But it's just one of those things where it's like I was so wrapped up in this Coruscant stuff that it just, when it yanked me out, I'm like, oh no, we're gonna have to wait until next season.
I was gonna say, do you think we get any more this season, or do you think that we're just?
No,
I don't. I think that this is gonna like tease it out, and we get more next season.
I want more Kelleran.
Yeah. I hope we get more Kelleran, but I don't know. That might be it.
But the Shriek-hawk was cool. I'm hoping that's what it's called. It's really cool. There was like one shot that looked straight up like it was out of the Ewok movies.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Was the Ewok movies? I was like, is this
it looks
the
like
same
a stop motion puppet?
Yeah.
And I would, that's one thing that Favreau likes to do is use models.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have this like, and I know he likes like the blurgs were from the Ewok movies.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to find out that they did a model of this thing for certain shots.
And like, even if loosely based on the thing that attacks the Ewoks in the, was it the second one when they're up the mountain? Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
They're always up the mountain.
You're the expert of those Ewok movies for sure.
I've seen him, dude. Listen, I've seen him countless times, and it's really hard to remember anything from him. It's really hard,
apart from Starship Crash.
But yeah, Star Cruiser Crash.
Star Cruiser Crash.
The thing that sucks though, like, okay, so this is like, there's almost every episode has some sort of creature that they're just like taking out, and I feel bad for the creatures, even though they're CG
bad too.
and fake.
I was like, she just wants to feed her kids, her little dragonlings, whatever.
Draglings.
Draglings.
Rap types.
Draglings. Draglings are not the problem.
But we do see that they're going to be looked after potentially, like, or at least they're going to be dinner. Maybe, I don't know. Like they took them back. I don't think they're going to cook them.
Okay.
So Charlie mentions here.
Can I just say, speaking of dinner,
you hungry?
Jakari.
These fuckers have to go and hide to take off their helmets to eat.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. I know.
On.
I was like, all that.
Get
guys.
over your shit.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Can you imagine them trying to get reservations at a restaurant? We're like, we need 9 tables, but we can't see any of each other.
No mirrors either.
They could sit in a circle. They could sit in a circle facing away from each other. I guess that would look just as creepy, but still, like it's so like I grew up Catholic. I did not complete my confirmation when I was 13 because I was already over it.
Me neither.
And so like that's kind of my life is like, listen, don't like just be good to people. If there's anything that the Bible taught me in those years that I was forced to read, it was
don't be a dick.
Be a good person.
Yeah.
Be a good person. So like don't like it. So just watching these guys and then them like luckily there was the right amount of rocks for each one to get behind. But just the whole thing.
Do you think they were still having conversations? They were just sort of shouting at each other. It's like, how's your rations? Yeah, mine are fine. How are yours?
I really don't want Bo-Katan. I really don't want Bo-Katan to sort of fall in line with this stuff.
I don't either.
I feel like that's what they're hinting at, but I really hope it's not the case.
I really hope and still am thinking that she's using them for her own gains. She's gonna go along with it while it's beneficial for her, but then as soon as she tames the mythosaur, gets the darksaber, whatever she does to sort of get control, she's like, this is the fucking way.
Like,
take
yeah.
take that
new way,
off.
Bitches. Helmets
Yeah. Definitely.
Rock out with your
also, I was talking to Stevie because the Vizsla guy. It's not
that one.
Vizsla, is it?
That one. Yeah, that one's Paz Vizsla, I think.
The big dude with the gun.
Favreau Vizsla.
I could tell you, worst rescuer ever.
Oh yeah, he's
Taz Vizsla, yeah.
Yeah, he's terrible.
They're trying to make him happen though. This week's Mando Mania has the bust of his helmet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been trying to make. I mean, it is Jon Favreau's voice in there. Like they've been trying to make him happen for a while. It's like, yeah, come on, dude.
Like, let's give him a kid and
pretend. Yeah. He's got.
We're humanizing him.
Yeah.
We're
that's the thing is
Mandalorianizing him.
The son, when he said he's my son, I was like, oh, does he have like a wife or something? And Steve was like, oh, he's probably a foundling. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense because it's called the foundling.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, like, I asked her, I'm like, if we had to wear helmets all the time, could we take them off in front of our spouse?
No, they definitely bang with the helmets on.
Clanking helmets?
Yeah.
Helmets on, clanking our hands.
Absolutely, of course they do. The helmet stays on.
Yeah, knocking boots no more from now on. Clanking helmets.
And that's why they named their son Ragnar. Like, I mean, not doing that kid any favors, are they? Like, Ragnar. He's not a dragon.
Ragnar. He might have a pet dragon now.
Well, that's it. They've got 3. So Grogu's training and riding one of those things, right?
I hope so.
I'd be shocked at this point because we've seen him like do a lot of animal handling and stuff in the past. He tamed a rancor. Like I think people are thinking, oh, is Grogu going to be the one that like sorts out the mythosaur? But I think he's just going to have himself a little mount and he's going to be a dragon.
I think
that
Mando's on dragon.
Yeah.
I want Mando's on dragons. Because I hate to say it, but it's cool. It sounds cool.
It does.
I was watching an interview with Favreau and Filoni on like the Star Wars News Weekly show that they do on YouTube, and Favreau kept talking about stuff being cool, and I'm like, no, Star Wars shouldn't be cool. It should just be Star Wars, and we decide what's cool. but I think Mando's riding dragons is sounds pretty
And
awesome.
it feels like something that this culvert would do as well, because it's like old ways. It's not using like loads of tech and everything. Like,
also, they don't need to waste fuel going after
Yeah, right.
things. But he says, "Oh, we never make it this far."
Like, then why do
So
you keep
why
trying?
did you try?
yeah, you know how far you can get. You're not going to catch up to it. And this dude
Bo-Katan
is
has a
clearly-
ship.
He's clearly
Yeah.
burning more fuel. And yeah, had none of them ever flown after this thing
So they're
before? Is she
wasting
the only
fuel
one
and
who's
they're wasting
smart enough?
rockets.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
wasting it.
basically.
It drives me nuts. These guys, that's the thing, is they're not smart, and they're in a cult,
Well,
and it's
you know,
driving me nuts. It makes me nuts that our main character wants to be in good with these
But-
guys so
But that's
bad.
the redemption arc, surely. Like at this point, it's not
Yeah.
redeeming himself to be in the cult. He's redeeming himself from the cult. I think is the arc of the show. Is that he comes around and he's like, wait, hang on, this isn't right. I should be doing my own thing, or I should be
Yeah.
doing a different thing.
So after this week's episode, where we have the scene at the end where Bo-Katan's like, but I mean it, and the cult leader armorer is like, sure you did, sweetie.
Yeah, she just didn't seem to be, and no matter how much Bo-Katan was like, no, I saw that thing. I was there. I saw it. It was
Yeah.
real. It wasn't a vision. And yeah, the whole this is the way.
I think the armorer knows it's there. I think she knows it was habitable. I think
Yeah.
she's a bad guy.
Absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
I've been saying it all along. She's the big bad of this show, not Moff Gideon, not the Emperor, not anything else. It's the armorer, definitely.
I said
Whether
it
it's
before,
this
I'll
season
say
or
it
later,
again.
like
We're gonna find out that she secretly betrayed Bo-Katan's father or something, and like,
I think was part of Maul's like Mandalorian stuff, like with the horns on the helmet and everything. It just goes back to that like last arc of Clone Wars when Maul had one of the other Vizslers. I think that was pre-Vizsla. And those guys were all like the part of the like the bad Mandalorians who were Death Watch. Who
Wait, his name's Pre-Vizsla, right?
the one in Clone Wars was.
Clone Wars, yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Pre-Viz.
Yeah. That's what it was named after.
Okay, I just got that. Pretty cool. That's so stupid.
oh, Charlie in the chat thinks that she's the last Katan sister.
Ooh,
That's not a bad.
interesting. Oh, what? So, what was there was the nephew, wasn't there? The nephew that everyone thought was Obi-Wan and Satine's kid. That was like, Satine had a nephew. I don't know, Sparky or something. It wasn't Sparky, but
nephew.
Yeah. But he looked like the perfect mix of Duchess Satine and
really?
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. So everyone was like, yeah, sure. And then he's never seen or heard from again after those few episodes. But it's probably not Satine's. It's not Bo-Katan's kid. So yeah, if there is a third lost Katan sister, then yeah, I like that. That'd be fun.
That's great.
And that's
I
why
still
she's got
expect-
such animosity for Bo-Katan.
I still expect the fight between Bo-Katan and the Armorer. I think Bo-Katan will have the Darksaber, and I think Bo-Katan will split the Armorer's helmet in two, having it fall to the ground and reveal her face. I feel like that would be amazing, and that would be like the ultimate. This is the way. You were shamed. Your helmet is off. Like
She could kill her, but she doesn't. Instead, she just sort of splits the helmet.
splits
It's
the
like-
helmet,
Yeah, showing
like,
some
yeah.
mercy, but also shaming her. Yeah.
Boom.
and she could have
my
a Maul
way.
head.
A
Yeah.
Maul head.
Yeah, like a Darth Maul head.
All
Yeah,
tattooed and horned. Yeah.
that's
like a
the real
lady.
reason why she doesn't want anyone to take the helmet off.
Probably.
Well, there's again, like there's been a lot of people talking. There's one of the background characters in season 7 of the Clone Wars, with Maul and that side of the Mando people who were there. We see I think it's Sabine's mum is there, but like in a non-speaking role. And then there's this other Mandalorian with her helmet off, with like purple hair and everything like that. And it's like it's a really interesting character design for like no lines, no nothing. And so there's a lot of people who think that might be the armorer. And we know that by the time they were doing season 7, like they were seeding in stuff through all of the
Right.
bits and bobs. Like even if it's just the tunnels under Mandalore, like it's all there and it's all now connecting because they've got that. They've got the story group.
It almost makes me want to watch the Mandalorian episodes of Clone Wars.
That's what I've been doing recently. I've been going back and just watching
I need
just
to go
those
back and
ones.
rewatch them.
Those ones and the ones from Rebels as well. They're worth a watch. They're all.
I'm sure there's a list. I'm sure there's a list.
Yeah,
There
I want to
might-
say
There might even be a playlist on Disney Plus.
Oh,
Was Clone
yeah,
Wars-
probably.
was it 2020 or 2019 that it finally finished?
2020, probably.
2020.
I
I think.
cannot remember if it was pre or post pandemic.
I think it was.
We were doing Screen Geeks
Mm.
because I remember watching it for that. So
Right.
I think it was like 2020.
I
So
think
then
it
it
was
was
2020.
okay. So then the last time I've seen those episodes was around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I should do a rewatch too.
all of season 7's great. It's all definitely
it
worth
is.
watching.
Yeah. I remember.
But yeah, the earlier episodes as well. Like there's I mean, if it's not on Disney Plus, there's definitely someone's compiled a list of like essential
Yeah.
Mando viewing, like
Yeah.
Mandalorian related
I
episodes.
always
of the Clone Wars.
I always found it kind of boring, but now I feel like I need to revisit it to reacquaint myself so I can get more out of this story.
Like Clone Wars and the series or season 7 or the Mandalorian
Just the
episode?
Mandalorian episodes. I don't need to see all of Clone Wars. It's a
I
lot.
love Clone Wars.
Well, it's
Like,
the reason why we're not doing it here and why we call it live action is because it's too much for us to cover. It's just way too
I just
I
got that live
Yeah.
action. I thought you guys were just talking about yourselves.
No, we're in live action. We are not animated.
Yeah.
We can be quite animated at times, but we're not.
But
we
what's
are-
fun is
we're
when
a-
people talk
we're a
about
boys.
like live action Star Wars series and stuff. I like to like pull those clips to make it sound like they're talking about our show.
Oh yeah.
But it's just way too much to cover. I mean, it's
It's not that we
I don't
don't
know
like
how
it.
many
I
episodes.
enjoy all of Clone Wars. We both love Rebels. But it's there's just
Me too.
a lot of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And-
it. That's why
and
I've never
Bad Batch I
fully
don't watch.
rewatched it.
Hmm.
I was very ambitious at one point, and I was like, because I don't think I jumped in because Jay watched it first, and I jumped in maybe season 3.
Mhm.
So I was like very ambitious one day. I was like, I'm going to rewatch it from the beginning. I'm going to get all the way through. So all these, I have the context for everything. And I don't think I made it out of season 2.
I was gonna say
think
you if you get through that movie, then you've made it over the first hurdle.
Yeah, I think I want to say like I remember struggling with like the first half of the first season of Clone Wars, but then it starts really picking up steam
Yeah.
like halfway through that first season. But yeah, it's just so much. I mean, how would we cover the show? We'd have to do it like season by season, I guess. But the way we structured this show, I think worked out great.
Yeah.
Especially with all the TV that started dropping since we started.
I mean, that was
it's
kind of
been
like
really easy.
the we knew it was on the horizon when we started this, so it was like,
Mhm.
yeah, cool. We can do stuff in between seasons, and then these episodes are sort of the meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah. Let's see. Sorry, I'm taking
One-
over. It's just habit. It's habit.
Oh, you good?
Yeah. Rob said that was cool, but just think of it was actually Jar Jar. Yeah.
Jar Jar
that's fine.
saved.
It would
was
be a
also a
great
comment-
redemption story.
About the paintball scene with Grogu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Like, obviously, Din knows all about Grogu and his force powers and everything, but he hasn't been showing that off. He's not been really doing that in public too much. He did some on Tatooine when necessary, but
Right.
like that's always around friends. Whereas I don't think Grogu really knows these guys yet. And clearly, these kids are little bullies and stuff. Like they're all just out there shooting their guns.
Din just wants to fit in so bad. I was like, dude, you're being thirsty. Bring it back. He's not
Yeah.
comfortable. Like, come
Let
on.
let him play with his crabs. Like
Yes.
it's fine. Like
And it
yeah.
seems but Din is like he still feels like he's trying hard. Whereas
He's
like I
trying
feel like,
hard.
but I feel like Bo-Katan isn't trying, and they're like, yeah, sure, here's the shoulder.
Isn't that always what it is though? The person that tries really, really hard
Yeah.
doesn't really get very far, but the one that
So
like
they're
is
like
too cool
stringing
for
him
school.
along. They're just stringing him along though. It's like
I know. I'm
I
like,
know.
make Din Djarin cool again.
Was he ever?
Now he's just dorky dad.
Yeah, he definitely is. But I do like that sort of.
My
the
kid's cooler
split.
than your kid.
But
My
the
kid is
split-
an honor student.
He's got a chainmail vest. Like, what does yours have? He's just got a dorky helmet with too big of a visor. I thought it was interesting that all the kids seem to have the big visor. So it's like
Yeah.
they ease them in. Like it's like, all right, you can have a better peripherals, and then
Ra-
as you get older, you don't need to see as much.
Hey, Ralph, how much are you going to throw at the TV if we get Grogu in a helmet?
It's gonna look weird.
I don't.
I thought she was
don't-
making a helmet. Okay, so I thought she was making him a helmet today, but then the display showed like a little chest piece,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh. But when she was finished, I thought it was a yarmulke. I thought she was gonna put it on her chest.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But that's what it looked like.
Yeah,
It's what it looked like. But it's some sort of chest thing. So we're 100% gonna get the fake out. Grogu gets shot in the chest this
Yes.
season.
Oh, totally.
And then we forgot that he had the thing in there.
and
But we
then
won't
I think
forget, because we're
Yeah, I
talking
mean,
about
we've-
it right now.
we've been
Right.
saying how we want to see Grogu with a lightsaber, whether it's his or the Yoda lightsaber
Yoda
or the
one.
dark saber or whatever. Like, but if he's got this chest piece, he's already got some armor on his chest. Like, I think that all right, he can keep it there just as storage, but that's a shield. Like, if I ever saw it, like he's holding that as a
Yeah.
shield, and I think we get Grogu with like a lightsaber and
He just
a
can't grab it from behind.
Yeah,
So he just grabs it from the front.
it's great, and I'm all for that. I think that would be a really cool little visual of like Mandalorian shield, Jedi lightsaber.
But
Coming
what,
together.
What color is his lightsaber?
Green.
Depends on which one he goes for. If he goes with the Yoda one,
think
it's going to be the green one.
Yeah.
But does he go with?
But I would also
something
like
new?
to see him wield the dark saber through the force. Like have him with the shield and have the dark saber spinning
Mhm.
around him or something.
He's gonna have to really choke up on that, though.
Yeah, I was going to
It's
say.
really big.
But it will show like if he's able to use it and wield it. We've seen like they've made such a big point of making it heavy in Din's hand. Bo-Katan's
Yeah.
better with it, but it still feels like a heavy blade. Whereas if Grogu's using it sort of effortlessly, it's like no, he's the one who
Like if it's just floating above his hand, just like doing
exactly.
like he's fruit ninjaing it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But are we ready to see Grogu murder stuff?
Nah.
I mean, he's eating
Well, I
he's
mean, we
eating
see
eggs
him.
and frogs and
Yeah,
he's
like-
been pretty ruthless.
Yeah, I mean, we have straight up seen him eat live things.
I think he
Yeah.
definitely wanted to make like some crab cakes out of
Oh, yeah.
those rock crabs. Like he wasn't playing with them. That was just him
I
playing
like
with his
that.
food. Yeah,
I like that scene because it looked like at first he was using the force, but then he looked
that's the
confused,
fake out.
totally registered that he wasn't using the force. Like the puppeteering on that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then all the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
crabbies walk away.
Mhm.
yeah. There was a point where, before we get into the flashback, when he's watching the armor make the thing, that I was like, is he making a face where he's like, I don't think I'm into this anymore? Like,
He
I just
wasn't.
realized I just realized what's happening here. I don't like this.
It could be you projecting onto him too, because I don't like that
100%.
stuff.
I don't know that face that he was making. Yes, all right. She's there saying like the Forge the Forge gives you visions. It's the Mirror of Galadriel type situation. Like,
Yeah.
but it's whether or not he's just having that face because he's of the vision that he's having, or if he's just like, oh, I don't like this whole
Yeah.
armor thing. Because
Which I think goes into our theory that she's a bad guy.
absolutely,
Yeah, she's a
I
bad
completely.
guy.
He's
But
like,
it's
your
that
vibes
whole
are
like
off,
weapons.
lady.
Like Jedi, and he's not a Jedi, but he definitely was raised by and had some Jedi training, whether or not he's
He's
remembered.
50 years old.
Yeah, exactly. It's knowledge and defense, never attack. And they're yes, all right, they got armor which is defensive, but they are definitely more
They
aggressors.
killed they killed that alligator a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago just because.
Yeah.
They could have just
That-
walked away from it and let it go away, but
Mhm.
no, they decided to shoot the shit out of it.
Mhm. At least it wasn't the only one. We saw another one this week.
Well, they drowned the screech monster thing
yeah,
today.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not great. They're just
Also, it wasn't like they need to listen to Bo-Katan. She knew what was up.
Mhm.
Everybody else was kind of like,
I think they're being
I don't know how to save people.
I think the fact that like
yeah, let's take our jetpacks that can't go that far. We know it can't go that far, but I guess let's just go waste fuel and then be out in the middle of the desert and then have to walk back.
I was gonna say, did they walk
Wait,
back?
baby,
Like that's
it's the way.
yeah, right. It's the way to the left.
But that's the way. But that's what's great about like when they're at the fire and he says, "Oh, you're smart girl. You get to eat by fire."
She's like,
it
"What
was
the
like
hell?"
she just like came in and was like started just like taking over. Like, yeah, these guys are aimless. They need
a
leadership,
proper
and
leader.
the armor doesn't feel like leadership. She feels like essentially like a priest.
I was gonna say
like a
priest,
bishop
like
or
the monk.
something.
Yeah. The spiritual
is.
leader, sure, but
Yeah.
she's not an actual leader. And Paz Vizsla, who I feel like he wants that role, he doesn't have that role. The dude's a
dumb.
Yeah, he's a big dumb jerk.
I think his helmet's too small. I think it's squeezing his head a little. It's not
Maybe.
right.
Yeah, maybe.
Is it Jon
Maybe.
Favreau in the suit? Do we know that?
I doubt
Is
it.
that-
It's not
Not his
Pedro
body
in the
type in the
suit.
suit.
I mean,
He's 6'1", Jon
Yeah.
Favreau. I didn't realize he was that tall.
yeah, he's a big guy.
I didn't either, actually. Is he really?
Yeah, I looked it up.
I feel like he's the same size as what's his face in their Spider-Man scenes.
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland, yeah.
Yeah, am I
But then
thinking
you
of the wrong actor? No, right. I'm thinking of the right guy,
That's
right?
Favreau.
That's
Okay,
Favreau.
okay.
I think about Favreau in Swingers, and he's like the same height as
Well, let's just
Vince
Google it.
Vaughn in that, and they're both big, tall guys. Like,
Yeah. Charlie Weaver
He is
says it's
6'1".
not
You
John
are
in the suit.
correct.
I would have been shocked
Vince
if
Vaughn
it
is
was John in the suit.
6'5".
Yeah,
Robert
they're
Downey
really
Jr.
tall.
is 5'8".
He's my height.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, me and Robert Downey Jr. both taller than Tom Cruise, I think.
Tommy the Duck. I think I said last week he looks more like a Transformer than a Mandalorian.
Yeah, I think it's to do with like the big shoulder cannon thing that he's got, like he's trying to be War Machine, or like, yeah, it's something about it's like all of that extra weight that he's carrying.
Yeah.
It's probably why he never gets very far in his jetpack. It's like it's just got his fuel cost is going to be a lot more than say a Din or
Okay.
a Grogu with a
If you're
jetpack.
not going to use your jetpacks to get to the top of that mountain, take them off while you climb.
Yeah, leave them.
Yeah.
Well, then I suppose it's always a good fallback. If they get thrown off the mountain, they've got essentially a
Right.
jetpack. So yeah.
Right. And Stevie was saying they were trying to be stealthy because I'm like, this is where you use a limited amount of fuel is at the bot, like, or just drop it. Like we've seen in the trailer, they can just drop out of Bo-Katan ship onto the thing. But I guess they're trying to
do
be
a
stealthy.
flyby. Yeah.
But the kid wasn't even there yet.
No, he
The
hadn't got
kid
back.
was inside the stomach of that thing, and it got hacked up.
Yeah.
Completely dry, by the way. I'm just saying. I don't
Okay,
know
yeah,
where
I was
it's
wondering
from.
about that. So it carried its back in its mouth, and I guess it just doesn't have a digestive system, and it's like.
I mean, it's baby
Don't
birds. Isn't
birds
it?
do that?
Yeah, they feel like feeding the baby birds, but
that's a good
it's
point.
normally quite like vomity, isn't it? When they're sort of, it's almost like it's partially digested and then they like puke it back up into the baby bird's mouth.
Okay, so then my next question is, okay, the bird had a head start, and then they like camped down at the bottom of the thing for the night. Of which it was my kid. I mean, Paz Vizsla couldn't wait to get there once he was there, but he was like, we could sleep for about 8 hours. It's
Kind of
fine."
hungry. Yeah.
And when they all ran out of
Nighttime.
jetpacks on the first time, they had to walk back.
They had to
however
walk back,
far.
so it was like 2 full days later at this point. And what was that dragon doing?
Just
He's
wandering
probably got
off
a big. Yeah, he's got family everywhere. He
Yeah.
went to see one of his other families.
secret families.
Yeah, because he
Ooh.
went back there because he went back to that nest originally because Bo-Katan followed him there. So he's definitely been back and then he's gone off again. But
So what was he doing with the kid?
he hadn't
Why-
fed. Yeah, he hadn't fed
The
them
kid
in
was
the
just-
meantime.
The kid was just in there.
Yeah, they actually become
That-
really good friends. The kid was really upset when they killed him. They
there you go.
bonded, and he was like, "Oh, that was Jeff, the dragon."
My good friend Jeff.
Yeah. Who knows? It's one of those Mandalorian things where I was like, it doesn't make sense, but it was a bit of fun. Like we're not gonna go too deep into it.
Right.
There you go. Tristan As someone with 3 parrots, I can confirm they puked up their foods for their babies. If they love their human, it'll love their. Oh wow, yeah, gross.
I didn't
Good to
know
know your
that.
birds like you though, Tristan. That's nice.
Does it take 2 days for this to happen? That's what.
Does it come up whole and alive still when it's doing
and dry as
Yeah,
a bone?
completely dry. Yeah, he's got a towel in the mouth.
I missed it when Paz Vizsla fell out of the dragon's mouth.
Right, I thought he was going
Like all of
into
a
his
sudden
guts.
it's breathing fire or whatever, and I was just like, or was that his jetpack going?
It was
Like
his flamethrower. He was shooting his flamethrower at his face.
I wondered.
Yeah. But again, further proof that he is just a big dummy, because as soon as the thing arrives, he's just like, whee, flies straight in. It's just like, had to do no work to catch him. Yeah.
Don't they all have rockets on their backs? Did he not fire his gun once?
I don't know. Maybe.
Also, couldn't they have just rescued the kid and then left?
I think, yeah. But
Oh, he grabbed the kid. He grabbed the kid.
He grabbed the kid.
Yeah. I don't know.
It seemed like a weird way of rescuing, but they got the job done eventually.
Again, though, what I liked about it is if we're going to have a monster fight again, like if that's the episode, I'm glad that it was short.
Yeah.
I'm really glad it was short and didn't drag on too long. And just
we
that
did get
bit in the
something else
middle.
as well. Yeah.
The bit in the middle was super awesome. I'm
It
actually
was.
probably I don't rewatch any Mandalorian. It's very rare that I've rewatched an episode, but I'm gonna watch that. I think I'll watch that.
I
there's
really
fun
enjoyed it.
stuff
On
in there.
my second watch through, I really enjoyed that middle bit. Like
And
the
a
rest of the
space
episode,
motorcycle.
I was playing on my phone, but yeah, like that stuff was cool. Those space motorcycles, I'm pretty sure we saw them in Revenge of the Sith, but maybe without the sidecar. It's like the ones that the clones were using, those like early speeder bikes, essentially.
But I like that Keller and Beck is a trainer of younglings, so he has a bike with a sidecar.
Makes sense.
Makes
sense.
Like, I don't know, field trips
And I
and
think
stuff.
Stevie pointed it out about 30 minutes ago in the chat that now I've just completely lost my train of thought. Something with the younglings. That's because he trained the kids on the show.
Yeah, the show he deals with younglings.
He
calls him Padawan Bryson and Padawan Jeff. All canon now. They're all canon. Every single one.
Yep. They're all going to be doing signings at Celebration this year.
Amazing. Do it. I mean, go get
your bag.
If you see Ahmed Best at Celebration and you have the opportunity, give him a big old hug from his best friend Ralph.
Oh well, I'll let him know that his best friend Ralph.
Big high
He
five.
probably remembers because he said, "Misa best friend." To Ralph, Misa best friend.
See?
Send James a picture of that so he can refresh.
Yeah. Send me like scan that in or something and send it to me, and I'll.
You're like, do you remember?
Who I am? Just mention my name.
It's Ralph. Yeah, it's Ralph. You know Ralph.
He's like, oh, Misa best friend. Yeah. Thanks to Kevin Stone for sending me that. He saw him at a Star Wars day.
Wait, you didn't even get that in person?
Oh, you didn't even get that from him?
No, it's given to me.
That's even funnier. Oh my god!
But it does further your connection with him. Like you are clearly best friends. If he wrote that and wasn't even with you at the time.
Well, what Kevin told me was he went up to Ahmed Best and it's like, oh, I'm friends with Ralph. It's like, oh, he's Misa's best friend. Here, I'll give this to him. Like he didn't.
Oh my god! You thought he was signing that for a
that.
totally different Ralph.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no other Ralphs.
I love it.
I was listening to a podcast and they talked about names that are dying, like Mildred and Ethel and all these names. And of the top 10 names that are dying, that nobody has been named in the last year, the only one boy name came in at number 10, and it was Ralph. No one has named their kid Ralph in the last year.
That is a challenge to everyone watching. Your next child has to be called Ralph.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's true?
That's really sad. Is that just in the US or is that global?
I don't know. It sounds like I guess it's just a dying name.
Oh,
so, interesting.
Guys.
Well,
is it
I'm gonna go to the Social Security's list of names while you guys are talking.
Okay.
Ralph, are you trying to like be the last Ralph or something? Like, is that your plan?
There's got to be one that's younger than me. I'm 46. There has
I'm
to be another
sure
Ralph.
that there is.
But I mean, it's pretty unusual.
Yeah,
Like, there's not a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like Ralph Macchio is like probably the last famous Ralph.
Ralph's the store. Like,
Those are going away.
are they? I don't know. We don't have them.
I've
over
seen
here,
a couple of Ralphs closed by us,
Wow.
but
yeah.
I have a whole
No.
bunch of their shopping bags that we just keep buying when we go to Comic-Con and then forgetting to bring.
oh yeah, that's the thing. Everyone, that's like the grocery store that you go to at Comic-Con because there's that big Ralph's right in the middle of town.
It's right in the center of everything.
Mhm.
Okay,
I
let's
think
see.
I think I've been to that Ralph's.
So this is updated through 2018. So Ralph was most popular since 2000. It came in at number 584.
Okay,
That year, the number of births was 342. For
It's still low.
2018, only 219 kids had the new name Ralph, which represents 0.011% of the total male births in 2018.
Wow.
so
Yeah. Tristan mentions Ralph, the dog from the Muppets. You
I
know?
had a puppet when I was a kid of Ralph.
Ralph. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's Ralph, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. The name sort of has become synonymous with barf. So
My name is actually they basically stopped ranking it in 2006. That's how much my name is dying.
wow.
Oh no.
That's okay.
I think I'm
It's
safe.
fine. I mean, it's fine though. Yeah, you're safe.
It's fine. I don't look like a Colleen whatsoever, considering I am 0% Irish and the name means girl.
Okay,
in
here's
Irish.
a fun game.
Gaelic.
Here's a fun game since we're talking about it. Do you know what you would have been named if you were a boy?
Daniel.
Ooh, James, do you know what you would have been named if you were a girl?
No idea.
Michelle. I would have been
Okay.
Michelle.
You would
I
have
don't think
been
I look
Michelle?
like a Michelle. Yeah.
I would have been
I think I
Daniel
would-
because that's my dad's middle name.
Ah, so,
Ah.
yeah.
So my parents tried 3 times, got 3 girls, had Daniel ready to go all 3 times. Finally, they
That's what
settled
happens.
for my dad's name is Leland Daniel. He goes by Lee. My youngest sister, her middle name is Lee, spelled Leigh. That's all.
Ah,
he got.
okay.
Yeah.
They didn't go with the Danielle.
Nope.
There's no Danielles in there. Interesting.
Nope.
That's funny.
Yep.
Well, I might be the
What
last.
great
one. We'll have to
Mandalorian
find out.
talk this is.
This is great. No, we
Yeah,
talked.
no,
We
I'm-
talked twice as long as the episode was.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
which is
There only
surprising
so
because not a
much.
whole lot happened. But I mean, if you want to hear me talk about it all over again,
Yeah.
I'll be over at Geek Dad Life 2 tonight talking about it with Jay, Colleen's husband, on Screen Geeks, and our friend Matt. So that'll be fun. It's really rough, Colleen, doing double duty.
Is it? I'm so sorry
you-
for your pain.
Would you want you should come join us? Do you want to join us tonight at 9:30 Eastern?
No, I gotta
Talk
do
about this episode
Survivor.
all over again. Okay.
I gotta do Survivor. Plus, I don't think I'm allowed to do that one.
Why?
I don't know. I've never been asked.
Wow.
Just have Ralph just asked you.
Yeah, I'm on the show.
Yeah.
I got some pull.
Do you though?
I don't think I have nothing to. I have nothing to
My
do with it.
contribution to that show is finding the memes now, of which I've got like 10 already. I'm very excited.
Nice.
Like this
Do
is
we
gonna
just
be
want to
great.
do them here? Can we just do them here instead of there? Don't submit any to Jay.
Oh my god.
We'll do all the meme DeLoreans.
Wow.
No, I gotta get it down this week. I've had too many, and it's a lot. So my goal is to keep it to, a lot less.
Are there any SpongeBob ones?
Not that I found yet. But I
'Cause we've-
stopped looking when the kids were eating breakfast, so I have not gone back. I will
Because
whenever it's done here.
James, we found that our co-host Matt
Loves
has zero concept of any character from SpongeBob.
Yeah, I barely do.
But
I've
you
never
would know,
seen it
like,
sober.
But you would know like who Patrick Starfish
Yeah,
is.
yeah, Yeah.
and who
I've never
Plankton
seen
is,
Rise of
and Mr.
Skywalker
Plankton.
sober, so we got that in
Interesting.
common.
Your husband's upset that we didn't invite him on our
I
Rise
heard.
of Skywalker episode.
It was a
because
celebration.
It was a celebration of a movie that people love.
Yep.
And he
Thousands
doesn't
of
love
us.
it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a terrible
Yeah.
movie. That's why.
No, it's not terrible.
I don't know. Like I said, I've yet to watch
Yeah,
it sober,
watch
and
maybe watch
I've
it
only seen
sober.
it once.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. All righty.
What?
Wait.
Just before we go, what?
Yeah.
Because when we saw about midweek, when we saw that this was a Carl Weathers episode, I was assuming that this would be the shots that we saw in the trailer of the Mandalorians on Navarro.
Mhm.
Right.
That's got to be next week, right? Surely.
I mean, do we get Bo-Katan now that they have a transport in Bo-Katan's ship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
But
looked
why-
like they were dropping out of that in the ship because those pirates were going to get big, cool Swamp Thing pirate guy, Gorian.
Yeah,
Shard.
I feel like they have already started invading Navarro, and these guys will show up and be like, "Here we are," and then it'll say Mandalorian, chapter
Bomb.
21, the
Rescue.
pirates.
No, we've already had the rescue. We've done that once already. Yeah.
cavalry.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, everybody, just letting you know, come Monday, the thumbnail art for this episode is 100% changing
Oh,
to Keller and Beck.
Cool.
I didn't want to spoil it for anybody.
Yeah, I
By
held off
having
on
that
doing the
artwork.
Instagram post for it because I was like, that doesn't feel like final artwork from Ralph.
okay. Well,
So-
show us now. Show us now.
Oh, I haven't done it.
Do
It's
it.
just
Oh.
okay. It'll look like this. It'll look like that.
Just with Mandalorian written over Jedi Temple Chair.
I just,
Yeah.
can you go back to that again?
Yeah.
The lightsaber placement is just it. I'm so drawn to it. I don't
You
know
may as well
why.
be pointing right at it.
Yeah, spectacular.
He should have put that little front flap over it, so it's like kind of sticking out of it.
Yeah. The robe's got like now available Galaxy's Edge.
I was trying to look at his lightsaber in this episode, and this is another reason why I want to rewatch it, is to see if it's similar to this one. They
He
probably
picks
have a
up-
better budget.
Yeah, the one he picks
Um,
up isn't the same as this one, but he might already have that one.
Yeah, I'm
on
trying
it.
to. I need to watch that again. We're gonna need to watch that again.
And you're gonna get to talk about it tonight on Screen Geeks.
Oh,
There
I
you go.
will.
There you
You know
go.
what? I'm gonna have that answer for everyone tonight, even though everyone has, like 8 hours
Synergy.
to watch that.
But
But
now
yeah,
they don't have to. Now they don't have to go to Google themselves.
Yeah, take the day off, relax. Don't think about Star Wars until Screen Geeks tonight at 9:30 Eastern time.
There you go.
Oh my god, good times.
That's
Imagine
yeah,
not
that's
thinking
that's,
about Star Wars.
that's 9:30 Eastern. But you can find us back here next week at a slightly different time. Ralph, what time are we doing it next week?
Oh shit! I was gonna look that up and I forgot.
Is it? I think it's
Um,
9 a.m. West Coast.
So that's noon
I
here.
think so. Yeah, I think it's. Listen,
5 here.
by the time by Monday, you will get. You will know. You'll have the link and when it starts. And our guest is Eddie Pence.
Eddie Pence back next
Eddie's
week.
returning. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I can't wait. So if this is going to be the piratey one, Eddie's. I'm gonna have a lot to say.
That's great.
Um,
I'm gonna have a different background next week, and my audio might be slightly different because I'm gonna be in a hotel room next week doing the episode. So that'd be fun. If the Wi-Fi is terrible there, it'll just be Ralph and Eddie.
Be sure to wear your snorkel. I want you to wear.
Where
your
are you
Yeah. Oh
gonna
yeah.
be
No.
next
I'm gonna have a snorkel and a mask on the whole episode. That's why it's gonna sound different. It won't be the microphone. It'll be that. That's gonna be the reason I do it.
Drop your earbud into the snorkel and talk to it.
Maybe.
All right,
It depends
Colleen.
on how many margaritas I've had by that time.
Thank you
Woo.
for joining us. Plug away. Plug the broadcast and everything else that you want to plug.
All the
have-
places.
All the places. Colleen
I don't
84.
know. I'm Colleen84 on Twitter, but that I don't know. That's my personal one.
Oh,
I did create that Geek Dad wife one, which
yeah.
I
You haven't done
to-
anything with.
No. I follow
It should just be
people on
pictures
it,
of
though.
you. It should just be pictures of you rolling your eyes at his tank news. Like, you should be at your computer going.
Every day a new one of those.
Trying to murder the word pre-sale, pre-order, because I'm so
Shriek-hawk pre-orders are coming up at HasLab, and nobody's buying it. And will it get funded?
I believe that the Cad Bane and the Luke and Grogu, is that who it is? That's pre-orders are out today at 1.
Oh. And
found those links in advance, was very excited. Like, thank
go
God.
to Entertainment Earth using the link GeekDad or whatever and get 10% off.
ee.something/geekdad. I don't know.
we watch Jay's show. Colleen,
tweet at me.
We watch Jay's show every Sunday. Me and Stevie sit on our couch, put it on, have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, but we love listening to Jay and John and hanging out with all those people. And all the people from that chat that come over here are great.
Yeah.
Charlie Weaver, Nick Dillinger, and Lucha Johnny. So
I recognize a lot of names.
Yeah,
it's good. It's
Kayla showed up, which was nice.
Big lot of connected.
Yeah,
I like it. It's always fun. It's always fun.
And they'll come out for Colleen, but not for me. Even though every day every week on Screen Geeks, I'm like, check out my Star Wars show.
Well, now they have.
Maybe they watch it later. Welcome. We do this quite early.
Maybe we'll just have Colleen on every week. You got plenty of time, right? To
watch
Mando early in the morning and jump on.
Oh my God. It was great because Zachary woke up like just as the end credits started rolling. And I was like, thank God I got through this entire thing before a child woke up and wanted to bother me.
Did he get spoiled by the artwork?
No, I paused.
He's like, Keller and Beck? What?
He's my best friend.
It's Ralph.
Anyway.
All righty.
Let's get out of here.
Thanks to everybody in the chat. And
that's it.
All right.
Everybody, we'll be back next week. Don't give in to hate.
I'll be back next season, I think. I just booked
myself. Sure. You were on my season.
You said I was, and I remember. I don't even remember what episode did I talk about. Didn't I do the finale with Jay for something at one point? I was in the other room.
I don't know. I have no idea. I know you did one of my episodes.
Oh, I think that was Patreon. Owen and Bruce Barbecue.
Ew.
I don't know.
Ew, don't listen to that show.
It's my favorite.
I love Matt though. Matt's great. Chris is great.
Show name ever though.
And it is the best show name.
It
ever.
is.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Okay. Yeah. I'll see you on the screens later tonight towards the end whenever we finish.
Thanks for joining us, Colleen.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we will definitely have you back next season. That'd be great.
Cool. All right. Bye, guys.
Don't give it to hate.
Celebrate the love.
Punch it.
Woo!